All right, all right, all right. I think we are live. I think so. See, let me check real quick. See here. Yeah, we're live. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Welcome to the Black Brain Trust. This is open chat number 96. Black men being brutally idiotic. Yeah, unfortunately, man, we got to do it, dude. We got to do it. You know, there's a guy and his little YouTube channel thing you do there. It's linked in the title. Um, I'm not sure what's going on with this dude, man. I'm not sure what's going on with him. Um, I'll try not to give too much as people kind of come on in, but we need to get this out. We got to talk about this, man, because this is something where we didn't even start this. Okay, we didn't even start this, dude. This goes back to a live stream that was done maybe about a month ago, and it was a black politics live stream that we did, and it was in response to AB Media, right? And this was strictly about democratic politics and blase skipping and whatever, right? It was Mike V and Renaissance Man and MOT were doing the response. And so this dude Kev comes into the chat and he says, you know, I didn't realize that this channel had turned into a coping space. A coping space. Now, I did put, let me see, put in the description of this video, I did put the definition, right? Because what I want to do is give all of this context, and I want to prove, because I put idiotic in the title for a reason, because I want to prove how much of an idiot this guy is. So, in the description of this live stream, cope is essentially defined as a verb of a person, the ability to deal effectively with something difficult. This is what cope means. So first, what we have to do is we have to preface, right? I don't think this guy knows what cope actually means. So, for context, he says the Black Brain Trust is a coping space, right? Well, let's take a look at something here. Let's see just how much of a coping. Well, we don't need to do that right at this moment. We don't need to do that right at this moment because we still have some more prefacing to do. So he comes in and he says, I didn't realize you guys had turned into a coping space. And we said, what? And so we swiftly dropped the link in the chat, right? And we were like, come on up and explain this. Come on up and explain this. What are you talking about? We're literally in the middle of having dialogue about policy and all this other shit. And then you say we're coping. So, um, about a week later, he does a smoke show. He has this thing called a smoke show. Now, here's the funny thing about this. He doesn't actually want any smoke. What he wants is he wants like what the prophet of thought used to do, kind of like this debate thing, right? But he wants it jokingly, he wants it cordial, he wants all that. But what he also does though is that he goes around trolling and saying things that aren't true, and then he wants people to come over and be respectful and have jokes and have this hee hee ha ha dialogue. And we're like, whoa, wait a minute, dude. Well, hold on a second. Hold on. Is this your approach to content strategy? I sure the fuck hope it isn't. But at any rate, on that live stream, I went onto his panel because I was like, "Well, dude, you didn't even you were too much of a fucking coward to come up here." So I went up on his and I said, "Okay, dude, this coping shit. I don't know what you're talking about, right? I don't know what you're talking about." But I said I'm gonna address it on the brain trust. I'm gonna address it on the brain trust. And a funny thing happened after I dropped off the panel. BGS Ibmore popped up. BGS Ibmore pops up, and he essentially tells Kevin, that's his name, that his channel is a coping space. Now, I do have this clip, and I'm gonna play it here in just a second because I need you guys to hear this. because this is the reason why I did not do a live stream. Because truth be told, BGS went up there and told him right to his face, "No, your channel is a coping space." And to dispel to dispel a lot of myths and rumors that we hate BGS or anything, look, we agree. We agree on certain things. On this, we definitely agree. Kev, you're a coping space. That's you, sir. And so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take a little listeny loo. Give me 1 second. And I hope your Monday evening is going well. So we're gonna do this here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna bring this up. And let's see. So this is the video right here. And just so you guys know, this guy right here, he doesn't do any content about like anything like important. He mainly talks about like what 94% of the manosphere talks about, women and relationships. And so I guess on this live stream, he had some things to say about Boyce Watkins and his wife and about their body language. Right. This constitutes non-coping content. Okay. Just want to preface all of this. But here's what we're gonna do. So this is maybe about 4 minutes, 5 minutes after I dropped off. BGS More comes up, and what you're gonna hear is you're gonna hear Kev talk about how, you know, coping spaces. And then you're gonna hear what BGS has to say about Kev's channel in particular when Kev says, "Well, I'm only concerned about my channel." You're gonna hear this. He says, "I'm concerned about my channel." And then BGS says, "Well, yeah, this is a coping space. I don't know. I don't understand what the problem is." So let's go ahead and take a listen.
bitches, they can stand up on their own. But hey, you know what? I'm sorry, because see, that's gonna be misconstrued. You know, women,
In 2023,
women.
how many chicken head men you met? How many 2023? How many chicken head men you met in 2023?
Yeah,
Chicken
there's quite a
head
few on TV,
is
bro.
unisexual now.
I
Yeah, there's
mean,
quite a few up
the
now.
topics are
So I mean,
amazing.
let's not get too far away from the topic. This is the topic is really uh
Here you go, right here.
do women of the state older black manosphere. Yes, sexy red TV. There are men that cope here. I'm not with the coping for real, for real. I just give men room to talk.
So just so you know, so Sexy Red pops up in the chat, and shout out to Miss Sexy Red TV reactions. So she asked the channel. She asked Kev, the host of the channel. She says, "So this isn't a coping space?" Because much like her, I'm thinking this is a coping space. This channel right here, particularly this one is right. So she's kind of dumbfounded by that, by his statements and his comments, much like how I am. Right. Let's continue.
You know, I'm going to tell you that as a truth because it wastes a lot of time in the discussions on this channel. It does this channel, the one I'm worried about. Go ahead.
It's designed to be a coping space. It's designed to be online therapy, a
Uh
group
oh.
therapy for Black men to discuss their issues. So yes, it is a coping space from the very beginning. I don't know why people run from that. That's what it's designed to do.
Kev, why are you running from it? Listen, bro, I told you. Listen, I don't hate BGS. We agree
Uncle
sometimes.
One.
We agree.
Yeah, I want to go
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. We agree. We agree, bro. What you have is a coping space. That's what you have. Your own master teacher told you that. And I agree wholeheartedly with him. You have a coping space, sir. You pulled up on the wrong motherfuckers with that shit. And yeah, and here, let's do this also because I also see that you don't have a good command of like the English language and syntax. It's not a coping space, it's a coping mechanism. Okay, see, so your channel is a coping mechanism. Okay, that's what your channel is. It's a coping mechanism. Technology is a mechanism. Apps and digital platforms are mechanisms, digital ones. you have a coping mechanism to keep it, to be more succinct. But generally speaking, though, BGS was absolutely right. Yeah, you have a coping space, bro. Right. So that was the reason why. That was the reason why I didn't do the live stream about you, because he confirmed it. I didn't need to do it. I didn't need to do shit. But and I'm saying, like, if you notice, dude, nobody did a live stream about you. Nobody said anything about you. Nobody's going around on panels talking about you, right? But what was last night about? Right? This cat's listening in the clouds. Dude is shooting the link like, yo, what's up with old boy? And I'm like, what? Let me peep game. Hella shit talking. For what? Don't be mad at me because you got a coping space, bro. We have a technocratic platform. Get it right, homie. Hey, look. If you just can't rock with us, just say so. But don't project, right? Because you operate a coping space, and our content makes yours. It's we can't even talk comparison. So the only thing that you can do is project your coping space on us. We see right through you, bro. Okay? We see right through you. And I'm just saying, I'm using your master teacher. He told you to your face. Own it, homie. Own it. This over here, this ain't it. You can't hang over here. On this dude's last live stream last night, he even says something to the effect of like, well, I don't talk politics because I'm pretty straightforward with it. That tells me everything. You don't know shit. You have more to say and talk about with regards to Ebony K. Williams than you do about politics. And you're supposed to be a grown ass black man. That's pathetic. That's fucking sad, bro. I don't talk politics because I'm pretty straightforward with it. That means you don't know shit. So who the fuck are you to come over here and label us a coping space? You literally pulled up on a politics live stream to say that. Only for you on your own live stream last night to say, well, I don't talk politics because it's pretty straightforward for me. Dude, get the entire fuck out of here. This is the reason why the dunce cap had to be your thumbnail for this video. You are an idiot. Like, here's what you got to do, right? Much like how we can accept the fact that there are other platforms that are more popular than ours, what you have to accept is the fact that our platform is more sophisticated and more intelligent than yours. Own it. Just own it, dude. I'm not jumping all over your goddamn panels and shit, saying all kind of shit. We never done that. But you somehow found your ass over here to do that. So I'm just saying, dude, here's your L, bro. Like, here's your fucking L, dude. Like, get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? Don't talk shit. Like, dude, like, when your master teacher tells you what your channel is, don't get mad at us. Don't get mad at us. Don't come over here and start talking shit about us because you're just like all the rest of them in 2.0 land. That's you, bro. Get like us or get the fuck out of here. It's that simple. Yeah, we have AB Media right here, and he's laughing out loud because I'm just saying, it is hilarious, AB. You're absolutely, yes. We were all laughing. Well, I played the proof. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link here. Right? Coping space. You guys are concerned about Ebony K. Williams' dating prospects and the fact that she sounds her message is 180 degrees from what she said a few months ago, and you're calling us a coping space. You guys are concerned about Brittany Renner. You're concerned about Tia Mowry. You're get the fuck out of here. Like what? You guys, your whole ilk. You guys sound utterly ridiculous. Hold on one second, man. Let's do this, man. No, let's do this. All right, we're gonna do this. So we're gonna go to. So let's do some comparison and contrasting, shall we? I mean, let's just take a look at the catalog, man. See, it was this live stream right here is when he pulled up with that bullshit. It was this one, right? That was from 3 weeks ago. But where do you see coping? It's tech, black cultural intelligence, black healthcare talk, space and technology. I mean, esports, right? Which is basically technology. Where's the cope? Sapiosexualism. Where's the? I'm gonna keep scrolling. Where's the cope, y'all? Cannabis, right? We talk that goody good, right? Where micromobility, electric vehicles, man, where's the black business talk, black fatherhood talk, black cannabis talk, sapiosexualism, micromobility, black tech talk? Where is the coping? I'm gonna keep going. Black car talk, space and technology, black car talk, man. Listen, okay, that's enough. Because there's like close to 1,000 videos in here, and yeah, so I'm not really sure what the hell this guy's talking about. But let's check him out. Let's check him out. Let's check him out. Hold on. Here we go.
There's quite a few of them.
Let's check him out. Let's see what he's got going on over here. All right, let's see what he's doing over here. Okay, we got a smoke show. Up with cope, down with hope. Huh? He's up with cope, right? He's the one who's up with cope. So that said, so says he, right? BS High, a betrayal against young black men. Smoke show. Access points gatekeeping. I don't. Who got the clout? Okay. This week in effery. You can't F her into submission. Prove me wrong. Racism. Okay, he spelled racism wrong. And what WS deniers in black and white. Okay, right. Are we cheering on the demise of black love? Okay. The curse of the good guy in the community. Yeah, this is very compelling content, you guys. Black male privilege. Okay.
Welcome to Space
Smoke Show Sundays, a black man's burden.
We now come to a rather intriguing test.
Who's worse to B Dubs and Simps? KS or Chad Wheeler?
Yes direction.
Okie dokie. Is SBE being used to protect OHS from words? Okay. Yeah. Right. Coping space, right? Bad publicity is still publicity. So this is telling you what he's going to think of this live stream, right? Let's see what else we got. Let's scroll down a little bit further. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Come tell me why the black manosphere is dead. LOL. Largely because you exist here. Right? I have a daughter, therefore, the girl dad BS. Maybe I should watch that one. I'm a girl dad. Are we making idiots too famous? You know what? I'm guilty of doing that literally right now. Is this why y'all dudes ain't married? The fear of cuckoldry. Dude, what the fuck is this? What is this shit? What is this crap, dude? Look at this. Choosing violins in a war no bullets were fired ridiculous. Hmm. Hmm. Must be the money value of blackness. What the fuck? Cheating is always the man's fault, no matter who cheats. I'm trying to find something interesting, you guys. Just hold on a second. He has a lot of pictures of Jamie Foxx without his shirt on. That is standing out to me right now. Dude's moist and hating for the womans. More pictures of Jamie Foxx without his shirt on. What the fuck? All right, wait, hold on. All right, this is enough. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yo, hey, yo, man, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. What's up, dude?
Dog.
I mean, dude, like, look, man. You know, listen, dude. Here's the thing, right? This dude last night he says he said, you know, it's just, you know, I think that as a channel they could do better. And you know, I'm kind of
What?
like, dude, like, look, man. I'm like this, bro. Like,
Do better?
you have to be literally at our level to have that fucking opinion. Like, like, how do you did you just see what we were just looking at? How the fuck does somebody like him tell us we need to do better?
Do better. Wow.
Dude, the utter fucking audacity.
Do better.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, we're coping.
Okay. So this is the same dude that when I pulled up. Can you turn the music down a little bit?
Oh shit, my bad. Hold on a second. And let me just real quick. Let me respond to Shango. Shango said he might be on the deal with all those shirtless Jamie Foxx pics. You know what else he did last night, Shango? On his live stream, he brought up some female wrestler, and she's like all ripped and shit, dude. He's just like, he was commenting on her six packs, and he said it would be good to get an ass whooping from her. I'm not even playing. All you gotta do is just scroll through that live stream from last night until you see a screen thing of like this chick that's all like ripped and shit. And so when you see that part, go ahead and play it. And then he's like looking at her and he's like taking his cursor and circling it around her abs and shit, right? And then he goes, "Yeah, it would be good to get an ass whooping from her." And the only part that he left out was in a kiddie pool filled with Jello.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that dude is kind of. I think he's fucking weird. He's weird.
He you know, when I pulled up on his stream a few weeks ago, I asked him, had I ever disrespected him? He said no. He pulled up on the stream that we were having about politics, and he dropped that little weak comment. And And so the point of that I was making to him on his stream was that this space has no code. But if you notice, the only people in this space that they try to hold to a code is the brain trust.
But we already have a code established. That's the funny part.
Hold on. I know that. What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
the reason why I'm saying that is because they want to be able to. You ever heard somebody? This is people will be able to really get it this way. You ever hear a Christian person? Somebody does something wrong to a Christian person, and the other person typically is a Christian too. And then when that other Christian hits back or fights back, the Christian who does something wrong will come back at the other Christian and say, "Hey, you're supposed to be a Christian. You're not supposed to do that."
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
It's to
what they
curb your
do.
reaction.
Right. Now, that person is a Christian too.
Mhm.
So it makes no sense for them to say that. It's
Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold you. I'm gonna hold you to the code that I don't even hold myself to.
Even though I follow the same theology you follow.
Supposedly, allegedly, right?
Right. Well, it's the same thing with these dudes. They claim to be for black men. But when it's time for a code of ethics to be held by them, they don't hold a code of ethics at all. But they're the first one to say, "Hey, you're the brain trust. You're not supposed to do this."
Right.
And
Yeah.
this is the BS that they've been doing for years.
Yeah.
And so now this is the same dude who asked me personally a few years ago. He asked me personally, who is the person in this space that's going around telling people not to share people's content? And I said, it's Black Goofy Speaks. Okay.
Yeah.
So so from that point on, he's known who is primarily responsible for the effery in this space. He knows whose it is. For him to allow BS to pull up on the stream after you get off, and for BS to tell him that the space is for group therapy. So basically, the manosphere, according to BGS, is a space full of hurt men, which I will say, he has been saying this for some years. So it's not like it's something that he has not openly stated on panels.
Mhm.
For him to sit there and accept it and say nothing, that's a coward. Because that's the very thing that he was trying to ascribe to the brain trust.
Right.
That because the brain trust was having a back and forth with AB Media about something political, that there was a disagreement, which people are allowed to have.
Right.
People are allowed to have disagreements. He tried to use that as a way to say, "Oh, you're saying this, y'all are saying this stuff because y'all don't like BGS." The topic ain't have nothing to do with him though. It had nothing to do
It
with
literally had nothing to do with him, dog. And then that's the reason why I just said, look, let's do it like this, man. Since BGS went ahead and just told you what time it was, I'm gonna fall back, dude. I was like, hey man, look, I've been hitting you for the last 2 weeks. Like, yo, I gotta get this automaton live stream out because we gotta get our other shit off. Right? Nigga, I wasn't even trying to like waste time with this dude. I'm like, well, man, BGS done told you what time it was, dog. I ain't gotta say shit.
I told now he's from Alabama. For people who don't know, he is from Alabama. And when I was on the panel with him, I asked him, I said, have you listened to the stream we did on Booker T. Washington? He said no. That was probably about a month ago. About a month ago. He's had ample enough opportunity to listen to that stream, to learn something about the state that he's from. I guarantee you he hasn't listened to it. I guarantee you. See, all this talk I'm gonna tell you what these weak dudes in this space do. Because this shit been going on for over 100 years. The guys who are not productive, they like to graft from the men who are productive, the men who have the educational credentials, and they try to sit behind those guys and gain legitimacy. That's what they do. They don't have. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Hmm.
I used to think it was laziness. Nah, they are not even intellectually capable of receiving the kind of content that we put forth. I'm gonna be honest, man. They're dumb. I'm
Dude, look,
gonna just say what it is.
look, hey man, why you think I use the dunce cap?
They dumb.
They think this is dumb, dude.
They just dumb, bro. This ain't even got nothing to do with laziness. This is just dumb, stupid dudes who ain't got no life and who the only thing they got out here is a YouTube channel to basically talk shit. They ain't gonna build anything. They're not gonna try to create some economy or create some institutions for black. They're just not gonna do that. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna hide behind Keisha, and then what they're gonna say to us is, well, y'all are just mad because y'all are not popular. Well, you know what we don't do over here? We don't go to dudes in the space who have channels and say, hey, don't rock with those dudes over there. See, we don't do whole shit like that.
Dirty Mac, bro. We don't do that shit.
Cause see, we'll get you on the record, we'll get you on a stream, and we'll just straight destroy you.
Yeah.
Because we got the info. And see, if you notice, if the audience is really listening, if y'all notice, have y'all noticed that they don't have no pushback against a Booker T. Washington stream that was 12 hours worth of content? Notice how you haven't seen nobody offer any and that bullshit BGS did with that goofy video where he was taking videos from the internet trying to push back against, that don't even count. I'm talking about well-researched response. You have to. I had 1,150 slides of research. You got to come with it, because these are the very people who say, well, I brought the PhDs over here. Okay, well, give us a PhD level response to what we did.
I mean, shit.
Give us a PhD level response, because that's what I did.
Don't do shit like come over here talking about you're just a coping space. And
don't tell us how much y'all don't like us, because we don't care. Because I ain't here. I wasn't put on earth for these clowns to like. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't in high school, and even when I was in high school, I didn't care about that either. Because I didn't care about the popular people in high school. I was popular in high school without even trying to be, because I was just a cool dude, and people respected that shit. You know what I'm saying? And so when you got grown males in their 60s talking about your content is boring,
like what the fuck?
Like what? Oh,
that's how I know.
Now?
That's how I know you don't know shit.
You don't know nothing.
That's how I know you don't know, because see, in order to learn, you have to be okay with boredom. You gotta sit your ass down with patience and learn some shit. Right. You see, so if it's not me talking blockchain while tap dancing on some damn sand and shit, then it's just like, I guess it ain't gonna soak in. You're an idiot if that's the case.
Right.
That's telling on you.
Yeah, I didn't come to this space to entertain. I'm not a court jester. So I came here to connect with like-minded brothers to get some shit accomplished and done. So, when they have that approach, man, it's like, you really understand, man, you're dealing with boys. When they sit here and talk about black boys can't read and the reading levels of black boys, they're the black boys. They don't read. They don't push. He has not offered one well-researched critique of what we have said. The only reason why he pushed back against it was because he knows the back and forth we've had with people like BGS. And the reality of the situation is, if BGS is your man, if that's your dude like that, cool. I ain't got no problem with that. But damn, y'all don't even represent him, right? Because y'all don't even read shit.
Nah, that's the thing. You don't.
Damn. I mean, at least pick up. I can guarantee you, of all the books that BGS has talked about in this space, I guarantee you most of them Negroes ain't picked up one yet. I guarantee you.
Well, hey, look, like I said, man, like we be saying, dude, like the most perfect example of that is when that chick pulled up on Edward Anderson and brought up, and she started asking him questions about the Moynihan report. This nigga was like, "Where's BGS at?"
Man, you could do a Google search, man, to get the
Oh my
PDF on the
god!
Moynihan report, bro.
I'm like, wait, so all this talking, all these live streams, all these hours, and all these panels with Moynihan this and Moynihan that, and Edward, you never read the shit?
They ain't
Like,
even
man,
read it, bro.
y'all goofy as shit, bro. Like,
I'm telling you, bro, they're dumb, dude. I told you they're dumb, dude. They can't take these concepts. See, the thing that whether you agree with his talking points or not, at least BGS can read something and kind of synthesize some stuff to take a position. Now he might take the wrong position, you know what I'm saying? Most of the time he is, but he can at least synthesize the information to understand it.
right. Hey,
They
hold on one
can't
second.
even synthesize the information and understand. They don't even know what they reading, bro.
No, I
They
mean, because
don't. They
they
wouldn't.
don't.
The
Because
reason why they won't pick it up, if Edward Anderson picked up the Moynihan report, he wouldn't understand what he really reads, bro.
he would have to read a whole bunch of other shit to get context, and that's the reason why.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
they don't. That's the reason why.
Thank you.
Because now what it's going to lead is down a rabbit hole of truth, where you're going to have to start digging in these literary crates and get your knowledge up. Now this cat only. He said, "Who said that?" If you look in the title, it's a channel called Black Men Being Brutally Honest. That's who said that. Only. Oh shit, the homie third and pulled up. Hey, what's good?
Third Ward, man. Salute, bro. Peace.
Ain't seen you in a minute, fam. What's good with you?
Peace.
Jibber Jabber, he said these management cats need to reconcile with their mamas. Get over it. Man, look, bro. And you know what? Look, and this is where I agree with BGS in the sense that certain spaces are that. They are a coping space. Here's the thing though, don't get us fucked up.
Right.
That was my issue. I'm like, hey bro, listen, if there's other channels and stuff that you've identified as that, make sure you're identifying that shit correctly. Because see, you way the fuck off the mark over here, homie. And now we had to do this. Right? Like I got the clip queued up. Let me see if I got it queued up. With the wait, let me see here.
Hold on. Let me go. Hold on.
Yeah,
first,
you know, I'm not gonna do it, man. I mentioned it to people.
Let
Y'all want
me
to
say
see that
this.
shit? Go to his channel and watch that shit. I ain't gonna play it. Go ahead,
Let
bro.
me just say this.
Go ahead, man.
Man, this is about respect. That's why I pulled up on his panel and I asked him, yo, have I ever did anything to you that was disrespectful? He said no. Dude, why are you pulling up over here on some drive-by commenting type shit, spraying shots, and then running? Like, that's some cowardly shit,
It's
dog.
coward.
Like, if you got a position to state and defend, man, get your ass on the panel and state it like a man. Don't type a comment in and then run like a little hoe. That's some weak shit, man. Like, cause it ain't never been a panel we've been scared to get up on. Matter of fact, these clowns will block us from getting on panels because they know what's coming.
We already know the pull up is
We ain't blocking nobody
not
from
a
the
thing,
panel,
man.
bro.
Hold up. Hey, just real quick. Let me not get it fucked up. Hold up real quick. Just in case I thought we was getting it fucked up. Hold up. We're gonna do this. There we go. In case a nigga want to pull up, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's just ridiculous, bro. Like nobody ever disrespected him. Nobody ever like. I'm gonna say this because black men have a hard time with this, and this I'm just gonna say it. we have a back and forth with another dude, and you have nothing, you are not involved in it. It's not your place to pull up on us as grown men and tell us who we should be going back and forth. Like, who the fuck y'all do
I
think y'all
swear to
are, man?
God.
Like, y'all ain't our fathers. We grew up with fathers, man.
Well, wait a minute, and then have an issue when we react to the shit.
But what I'm saying is, if you do make something public, and Obsidian was right when he said this years ago, if you put something out in the public domain, you leave it open to being critiqued.
It's there for public consumption.
So we have every right to critique it. Y'all wanna be on some cult of personality type shit and be like, well, I'm right. I'm gonna say what it really is.
Go ahead.
The reason why so many of these dudes rock with BGS is not because they believe he right. How the hell they supposed to know he right when they don't even read shit? They can't know.
You can't confirm shit.
They can't confirm. The reason why they rock with BGS is because they're using BGS to read for them because they're fucking dumb. That's the reason why they rock with BGS. They don't rock with if BGS was really their man like that, they will read the shit that he puts out for them.
No, we'll talk. And like I said, dude, like
since we did the Booker T. Washington stream, I've had multiple black men say, "Hey, man, I've been doing my research on Booker T myself."
Yep, that's facts right there. I can confirm that shit.
Yeah, multiple black men say that. Yo, I ain't even know nothing about him like this. I
can confirm that. I'm on the record. I confirm that.
Come on, like if that's your man, yo, don't you think it would be in your best interest to make your mans look good by representing the things that he's talking about and that he thinks y'all should rock with? Y'all ain't even doing that. Like me personally, if I was him, man, I'm talking about a lot of them old niggas who've been following him. Man, it should be at least 5 to 10 books that he should be able to pull them up on a panel and they discuss it. If he should pull them up on a panel, and if they haven't read at least 10 of those books he's referenced, man, he shouldn't even get them on.
Like, just shut your ass up. Hey, man, look.
Even be on no panel, bro.
Just shut your ass up. Hey, but check this here out, though, man. Like, here's the other part to this shit, right? And it's like this, dude. When he pulled up on us, we were responding to AB, and this was political back and forth, right? But you know what happened? AB had responded to us. Now, did he go over to AB's channel and call his shit a coping space?
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. Okay, I just want to make sure, dude, we're on the record with every fucking thing, you guys. I just want to make sure we're on the record, Steve, because what I need to do is I need to feel fully and wholly justified in titling this live stream when I titled it and using the thumbnail that I did. So we got to make sure we're covering all tracks here, so that I'm not being, overly aggressive or anything like that, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Fucking idiot.
And that's what I'm saying, like, it's like y'all want to come at MOT for saying certain views don't need to exist, but then when I'm on a panel on Kev's channel and I bring up Cerulean, Officer Faulkner was on the panel. He had the great initiative man with Cerulean. EBS was in the chat. When Cerulean was talking about taking dudes' lives who didn't save Keisha, because remember, y'all, these are the same dudes that said 3-4 years ago, hey, we need to save Keisha in the black community.
Guys need to wipe
up.
up.
But for all y'all people who don't know, that's what happened. Those dudes said we supposed to save Keisha. So they basically ripped the space apart.
How we forget, right?
To save the very chick that they're constantly complaining about. But here's the difference. When they were proven wrong, because even Angry Man came back and apologized to the space over it. When they were proven wrong, your dudes like BDS, they hid those videos so y'all can't see. So now you can't see when they was ethered and when they was wrong.
All them live streams, dude, are not available.
So now they hiding the content that proved they were wrong, and then they try to make it seem like when what happens is a lot of those dudes they follow the trends when things get popular. Because there was a point in time when SYSBM and Passport Bro, they wasn't with that stuff either. They was clowning SYSBM and Passport Bro. Only to come back to it later and be like, okay, yeah, I'm rocking with it. But the only reason why they rocked with it was because it was a way to thumb their noses in the faces of black females. That's the only reason why they rocked with it. That's the only reason. I mean, how do you completely do a 180 completely against it and now you for it? Well, they were able to use it to their advantage in terms of their content to try to make Keisha look bad. But these are the same dudes who said at one of the dudes that they was rocking with, at the barrel of a gun, he will force you to save Keisha.
I'm just, hey, listen, y'all. I'm just saying, dude. Like, if y'all ever wonder why all of those old Coliseum live streams aren't up, all those old Angry Man live streams aren't up, and I don't know, maybe a few other people why their live streams aren't up. Now, here's what I will tell you though, and if you guys care to do this, this is just me giving you some little tidbits, little puzzle pieces, right? All you gotta do is go into the Black Brain Trust archives, go all the way back to the very beginning video. That first year, dude, like 2018. You gotta go through all that kind of shit, especially when we started. I would say maybe like five. We started in April. It was April 20th. Because okay, little history for you guys, right? The Brain Trust started. It was myself and Anti Gravity, my business partner. Okay, there's a channel called Business, Wealth, and Power. Okay, then this channel right here was formed by Mike and Lionel. Okay, we had started Business, Wealth, and Power back in like either December 2017 or it was like early 2018, and then this channel was formed in April 2018. Okay, and so what we decided to do was just merge the two. The Business, Wealth, Power channel is actually still up. All of those live streams, we were doing cannabis talks and business talks and politics. That was myself and Anti Gravity, my business partner, like my little bro, man, like one of my best homies. So if you want just a little bit of history on that, it goes back that far. It was myself and Anti-Grav with Business, Wealth, and Power. And then we merged it and then it became the Black Brain Trust because Young Grizzly gave us the name. Okay, so Young Grizzly is the one who gave us the name the Black Brain Trust. Shout outs to Young Grizzly. So this is the real shit. This is the real history. This is it right here, right? So we're not going to take no shorts and pull no punches. We'll let y'all know what time it is. We ain't got shit to hide when it comes to like.
Let the audience know why was the trust set up. Let them know.
I mean, because look, man, we understood what the future was holding, man. And look, man, let me tell you something. That whole conversation about women and this and this and that, and the third and all that other shit. Listen, that was not going to be the move. And as you guys have seen from 2018 to 2023, look at everything that's happened. Look at all the technological shifts, the global shifts, the pandemic, everything. Look at what everything is moving towards. If you look at what is most prevalent right now in the world when it comes to politics, economy, economics, and technology, you'll know that every single bit of that shit has been talked about on this fucking channel for the last 5 years.
And has come to fruition. Now, mind you, we're in a space that has said for years that this is a space about productive black men and thinking black men. Does their lack of support for the content of the Brain Trust prove that? No, it doesn't. Complete opposite. They're not for that. They're not for that. When they had the chance to come together, and unite the space, they chose to fight. They chose to fight. They didn't want that. They didn't want it. They did not want that. Now, I will give Now there's his credit. He had an axe to grind, and I believe rightfully so, with a certain character, and he tried to do it. When they saw how valuable the space was, when it was valued at $3 million, I think, he tried to put the differences to the side. He is that one dude I could really say that he was chewing on some shit, but he was willing to kind of put the differences to the side to try to work with them dudes. He just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. So I will give him credit from what I seen from him. I'm just speaking for me personally, what I saw from him. But the rest of them, nah. It's one of those things where, you know, this whole conversation, it's no different than, you know, the fembots saying that they're for women when they're really not.
Right. It's a
no
ruse, man. It's a ruse. It's a smoke screen.
Yeah.
Smoke
I mean,
screen.
it's no different. Like they just put black man on it, and people think, oh yeah, it's, you know. But the reality of the situation is that they're not intellectually capable of really understanding the information necessary to move things forward. I mean, we're in an information innovation age. This is the age of information. They call this a knowledge-based economy for a reason. Yeah. You have to have the right information. You know, all that old stuff, man, you know, civil rights and all, man, that stuff is done.
What Mike V say, Illuminati, Bilderberg.
You know what I'm saying? It's done, man. That stuff is done.
It's done, bro.
It's like, you know, Cass is still talking about this stuff like it's still resonating, but it's like, man, people have moved on to new paradigms, man. New paradigms have been formulated, man. So at the end of the day, man, like you need spaces, man, where you can get the information, man, that could speed up your development, man. I mean, if we had spaces like this in the 90s,
I mean, man, we had to literally we had to click up, dude. Like we had to literally battle and show and prove, and it was just through the battling and fighting and all that shit. That was when you got crew tight, as we used to say back in the day. We crew tight, you know, it's like every cat in the crew is dope, right? And that process back in the day, anyway, at least how I remember in the 90s and shit, you know, teenager going into my adulthood and stuff. It was very archaic and violent, and it involved a lot of battling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
I think that's probably the problem, though. Like we from the 90s era, so right. we was with our crews. We was out there in the streets. We had to get it how we got it. You know what I'm saying? So there's a certain level of ingeniousness that comes with us because we know how to go and seek it and find it, get the information. I think it's too easy. I think the fact that it's right there for you, you don't really have to go through a lot of trial and tribulation in this age to get to that information. I think a lot of dudes take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? And so when you can listen to a stream and you can hear somebody like Alonzo Hall talk about life insurance. I mean, we didn't have that capability in the 90s, man, to hear somebody, man, young. I mean, he's in his 30s, like 37, 38, still pretty young.
Yeah, he's young cat.
To be able to talk about life insurance the way he talks, we didn't have our ear to the streets on something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, to hear somebody like MOT talk about trucking from front end to back end to tell you how to do it, that's a whole different type of information stream in which you have access to that we didn't have 20, 25, 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? We've seen dudes that be 15, 16, 17, 18 in these spaces yo, man, I'm just trying to soak up this information, man. I don't have this around me, man. I don't have men talking about stuff like this around me. So just think about those young black males, man, who don't have the access or who don't know that these types of channels exist, like with the type of information we're putting out. And they just around a bunch of old dummies
Just
who
just
telling them to
dude,
go chase.
like
Hey man, you need to go chase that chick, man. Yeah, man, go ahead and holler at her, man.
just
They
just
ain't
dude,
even
like literally putting them on the wrong path, bro.
putting them on the wrong path. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's such a I mean, you see a lot of boomers and older generation Xers who try to claim Gen Z. Gen Z don't want nothing to do with them clowns. Gen Z
I
don't
mean,
want anything
man,
to do with them clowns.
like, dude, they ain't built like us, bro.
Nah, at all.
Keep it a buck,
They
dude. They
not
not,
operating with
man.
that pro black stuff, man. They not doing
I don't know about all that shit they be talking, bro. Like, I don't, man.
it. Nah. Mm-mm. They don't. Nah, bro. I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like we're dealing with a completely different paradigm, new territory, and these dudes is just the world is moving, and these dudes is standing there.
Like they worried about Ebony K. Williams, nigga.
I remember when I asked Edward a long time ago. I asked Edward. I said, Edward. I said, let me ask you a question. If every black female said, you know what, we're gonna be feminine, we're gonna be supportive, we're gonna follow your lead, we're gonna be submissive, we're gonna do all the things that you're asking for. I asked him, I said, would most black men be ready for that? He said, no, hell no. I said,
I mean, and that's why
what are we talking about this?
That's what I'm saying, man. That's why I'm just like, man, look, man, why don't we just do this, dude? Like, y'all do what y'all do. Because, like I said, man, all of this came about because he pulled up on us, right? Like he pulled up on us, dude. Like this ain't some shit where I was in some sort of on panel or something and disrespected them, or you did it, or Mike, or MOT, or that's not what happened, dude. We was really chopping it up on some politics shit.
How do you insert? Let's say for the sake of argument, we don't like BJs. Let's say for the sake of argument, we don't. Nigga, how is it your concern?
I mean, that's a good question, dude. Like, okay, look, as a grown ass man, right? Like, nigga, if I don't fuck with a nigga, I don't fuck with a nigga. Like, and
I mean, like seriously, like,
and
how is it your concern? Like, you don't know what this dude could have said to offend me. Like, for example, when I was in Art's chat the other night, I didn't say anything to BGS. I didn't address anybody personally. I made comments, and BGS came and basically made some comment about me being on the slow train. So basically, he was saying I was dumb.
yeah,
I didn't even respond to it. But if I was to get at him later and get in his shit, this would be the same dude that be on some like, oh, you don't like BJ, but Nick, you don't know he insulted me. I didn't say anything to him.
but wait a minute.
But my whole thing is like, dude, like if we say something to y'all got a problem with it. If I don't address you, you still saying some shit to me.
You still got some. Like I said, dude, like ain't nobody said nothing about this dude. That's why I'm like, well, wait a minute, dude. Why is it always the projection on us when 90% of the time it's niggas like on these 8-hour ass panels, right? And can't help themselves but to like those slick shots. And like, dude, like most of the shit we let it slide. Yo, hold on, check this out. Hood Service says niggas can't talk politics without beating them. That's a damn lie.
That's a lie.
You a whole lie for that. See, here's the problem. The problem with cats like you, for example, right, who think that, is that you can't really hold your position down from a political standpoint and from a policy standpoint without resorting to ad hominem. You cannot literally go toe for toe when it comes to policy. That's a lie. If you come through with your policies on deck, I bet you, we can have a productive dialogue and go back and forth. But see, most of the time, Hood Server, when you pull up, you ain't got that in your back pocket, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a whole buck, bro. Like y'all don't pull up like on deck like that. Go ahead, man.
This is where the BS comes from. Okay, number one. I'm sorry to tell y'all black men, but when you're in the space of men and it gets heated, that's just the way it goes. I'm not sitting here. I'm not sitting
Yo,
matter to me
Ronald.
because I do
Hey,
my
you cut out. You
research.
cut out a little bit.
That's
There.
why I can do the. That's why I can do.
You cut out for a minute.
I said I don't.
Repeat
I'm
that.
not a. Can you hear me?
No, you get it. I was just saying you cut out for a minute. Repeat that.
You know, I'm not offended by what he said. Like he don't have anything else to say. He can't challenge. He can't challenge my Booker T Washington stream. And this next one that's coming. This next one coming that on the black intelligentsia and how they sold out the black business class. I know he ain't gonna be able to challenge that either because he ain't got it like that. I put anything on the deck. I'm gonna put my research on the table, and I'm gonna give you the sources too. So I ain't got no problem.
But check it out. Check it out. Right.
Because I can take an idea. I can take a thesis and I can make it into a large talking point on my own. I know how to do that.
But Trip.
I don't need anybody. I don't need no master teacher online telling me how to think. I know how to think on my damn self.
But Trip, check this out. He said that's literally why I don't have a wrench over here anymore. Dog is honestly, dude, it's probably because like you kind of lived up to what you're talking about. That's on your end, dude. If you got a wrench pull from here, that's because that was on you, bro. Like I'm gonna keep it a buck. Now I didn't pull it, Hood, to keep it a buck with you. I didn't pull it, so I don't know what was cracking with that, right? But let's get to the second part. It gets personal, then people get mad. Well, like I said, dude, are you pulling up on deck with like links to like your local senator and governor and all this and their policies, dude? Like, are you pulling up with like something we can compare and contrast? Like you're saying it's getting personal, but I'm telling you it don't have to be. Be on deck with your policies and shit, and we can stay up out the personal shit because we got the policies on deck. We put that's what Kev was mad about. What Kev was mad about was that we was giving AB Mike MOT and Renaissance was giving AB that treatment, and they was pulling up bills from his state talking about what you doing about this right here. He was getting smacked upside the head with the policies, bro.
Well, the problem is that because most black men are not business minded, they don't understand the channel. They don't understand.
I ain't beefing with you, Hood, either. Hey, Hood, I ain't beefing with you either, bro. All I'm doing is I'm laying it out here for what it is, dude. Because look, we sitting up here right now. This whole live stream is about somebody gaslighting, dude. Gaslighting like a motherfucker, dude, and saying shit that ain't even true. And I'm not saying that you do that, but what I'm saying is when you get over here, come through with some links to some fucking policies, some articles, nigga. Come with something that backs what you're talking about. This is all we ask. That's what I'm saying, Hood. It's not a beef, and it ain't gotta get personal. All I'm asking is just pull up with your shit. Pull up with your shit on deck. That's it, bro.
Hold on. You and Mike just did a stream on micromobility. Okay. We have talked about this incessantly. How our business, our political affiliations are aligned with our business interests. Mike was showing things that have been availed in terms of policies that we can utilize in terms of money. That's not the same conversation that the mass of the black manosphere is having, because the mass of the black manosphere don't have business interests. So when y'all are having conversations about,
Oh shit, hey Royal, you dropped again, bro. I don't know if you can hear me. All right, hold on. I think his mic dropped again. Yo. Okay. I'm not sure what happened, dude. His mic dropped out again here. I wanted him to finish his point. We got about maybe.
who wins.
Oh wait. Hey Royal. Hey man, your shit dropped.
When they look at their political.
Hey, can you hear me, bro?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hey, bro, you dropped again, dog. You don't have to repeat all that.
What I was saying was, you don't see a lot of these companies who donate to political candidates in a kerfluffle about things, because what you see from them is the willingness to support both sides because they have business interests and they want to be good no matter who wins. That's different. That's different than your average voter. And if you don't have business interests, you're going to be at the back of the line. I'm sorry, that's the game. That's just what it is. You're going to be at the back of the line. So either you come together on business, or you don't really get what you think you should be getting.
You getting basically.
I mean, that's just the
I don't know
game.
what shit went.
And that's always been the game. Why y'all think we did the stream on Booker T. Washington in the first place? Because we wanted to show that he worked with both sides, both political parties. He politicked with the Republicans, he politicked with the Democrats. So for people who thought that he was apolitical, he was not apolitical. He dealt with politics differently. He dealt with politics through the lens of his business aspirations for his group.
You got to deal with both sides, fam. Like, let's just keep it a buck. If you really
There
serious
is,
about your
when you're
business,
in
you have to
business,
go
hold
both
on, when
sides.
you're in business, there is no side. There's just your interest.
There's your interest.
There is no side. Y'all haven't, even though you have somebody like Booker T. Washington who showed us this over 100 years ago, y'all still haven't caught on yet because y'all want to agitate instead of building. See, that's different. That's a different philosophy. Okay? And so that's the reason why you're still having the same type of arguments that people like W.E.B. Du Bois was having back in his time.
And it still ain't going nowhere.
It's still going nowhere.
Yeah.
Still going nowhere. So at some point, if y'all got channels like this who are dropping content on people like Booker T. Washington, actually showing you the history, the record, what was happening, what were they doing, what were they trying to do with the business interests, what were their interests nationally, what were their international interests, because people like Booker T. Washington had international business interests as well. If y'all ain't soaking up the information, that ain't on us, man. That's on y'all.
Right. So I did a live stream maybe like a week ago, dude, on automatons. You remember that?
Right.
So these were things that existed even before Booker T's birth. Let's go there. So what say you about the Tuskegee Institute and what it was that he was trying to maybe skill up brothers and sisters for? What say you?
I mean,
Because I'm gonna tell y'all right now that the
realize,
shit that he's about to drop next.
y'all do realize that Tuskegee is where the Tuskegee Airmen came from, right?
That's where the airmen came from.
So you're talking about a group of fighter pilots, black men, who helped really had a great impact on World War II and the winning of it. They had many of these companies, man, were recruiting black men from Tuskegee.
Look, dude, hey, Ryle, the Tuskegee Airmen were pointing out flaws in the planes. Okay. Okay. That's what was going on. That's what was cracking. They were your what they call them, your Top Gun.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they call the top pilots, Top Gun. Those brothers were that caliber. They basically knew the limits of the damn plane.
Mm-hmm. I don't think y'all really understand from a business and tech perspective how advanced black people were.
That's why I did the automaton. I don't think y'all really get it.
Y'all have no understanding of that history whatsoever. You're missing a vital piece of your own history that is very positive. Very positive.
They're about to get it though.
Okay.
They about to get it though.
And there are a bunch of people out here who are academically inclined, who look like you, who do not want you to learn that history. Okay? Booker T. Washington said this in 1911 in his book, My Larger Education. He talked about those black people who don't want black issues to be resolved, because if they get resolved, they wouldn't have a job anymore.
Skill up and do something else, motherfucker.
What you hear a whole bunch of black people, like your Al Sharptons or your Cornell West, they'll talk about black people getting educated. Do you ever hear them talking about black men getting educated in trades though?
Nope.
Never hear them. They want you to get some. They want you to get this same goofy ass education that you've been getting, that ain't got you nowhere.
Check that out.
When the reality of the situation is, before integration, black people had schools that were doing better than white people's schools, that was educating black people, black children specifically, because they were getting them at the foundational level. Because if you get them at the foundational level,
look at this camera.
that's the best place to get them, because it's hard to reverse a miseducation. It's hard.
Go listen to the Booker T series. Like just have that shit playing in the background while you work. Soak it in. Because we're about to pile on the next layer to this. I want you guys to, shout outs to tell us stuff through here. Right?
There is a black woman, I'll maybe on a later stream, I'll talk about her, who at the University of Texas with Dr. Butler, she has done a lot of work in establishing this kind of like an institute at UT that's centered around the history of the black business class. All right? I mean, this is a black woman who has tried to make sure that the history and the contributions of black people in business does not go unnoticed anymore and goes by the wayside. Okay? There is a wealth of information. Hell, there is information on the black business class in the Library of Congress online. Y'all know everything else, but you don't know your creators. You think that's by accident? It's not by accident, because Carter G. Woodson was talking about it in 1933 in the Miseducation of the Negro. Carter G. Woodson's life was dedicated to making sure black people remembered their great people, their creators, their thinkers, their inventors. He knew how important it was for you to know where you came from and the people who went before you who did great things. That's why he was about Negro History Week. That's where you get it from. That was the reason for it. Y'all have no understanding, man, of all the great things that you've done in this country because you've been miseducated. And then you have a space like this that claims it's about intelligent black men and thinking black men. And it's about productive black men. And at the end of the day, look at the numbers of the Brain Trust. And y'all tell us, is this space supportive of that?
We're coping, dude.
Look at the numbers. After 5 years? Hold on. 2018. Yeah, 5 years?
Yeah. Yeah, I done seen cats run it up real quick, dude. It's just like, damn, like, I'm gonna tell you right now, we earned every last bit of the subs we got. Because, like, dude, I say over the last year, dude, we've been right where we at. We ain't seen we sniffed 42-30 for a quick second. We back, 45-30 for a quick second. Now we back to 45-20. Yeah, it is what it is, right? But think about it. Just don't be calling us like a coping space, dude. When we know that what we're doing is not even in that venue. It's not even in that.
Not even close.
Not even close, bro. It's just like that pure disrespect to pull up on us and say some bullshit like that, man.
Come on, dog.
For
Come on.
real, dog. I got an issue with that shit, bro. And it's just like, motherfuckers want to always act like, I'm a jerk, I'm an asshole. This time. I'll be like, bro, I don't even be on shit like that. But see, when niggas pull up over here, say some shit, go back over there, get to talking they shit, we're not supposed to say nothing. Oh, nigga, X that, dog. Hell no. Nope. No, we're gonna call some fucking idiots when we see them, dog.
Let me tell you something. There were dudes in this space that was pissed off at me because I was pushing Alonzo Hall so hard. Whenever I would go into a space, I would just bring them up and say, yo, y'all need to get on this, man. And dudes was getting mad at me. It wasn't me trying to advance me like, yo, y'all need to listen to me. It wasn't even about me. I was doing that, man, because he's a brother. And he needed that support.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It was dudes who was getting pissed off at me because I was, even though they was like, even though you had dudes in this space that say, black men don't help each other. Well, shit, I was helping him. And y'all can ask him, I ain't never charged him anything for any support. I was free advertising for him. And these dudes were still getting pissed off.
And you know what we was trying to do?
Hold on. Meanwhile, Alonzo had female from Africa reach out to him, wanting him to teach her what he knows so she could take it back to the continent. And I had told him a year prior, hey, we need to look at the African market. A year before that. Because I told him, I said, man, that's a large market for us.
Huge.
Dudes was getting mad because I was advancing his interest, because his interest is ultimately our
interest.
Do y'all understand how important it is to have somebody who sells you life insurance, who knows the ins and out of the industry, that you can trust your family's interests with?
Trust me, I need a guy. Look. We need a guy like that in our back pocket. Like I said, various times, Alonzo and I, we've talked about what we were attempting to do last year, 2022. But you know what? Do you think he's going anywhere? No, he's right there. Just wait. Just wait. If it didn't happen then, it'll happen later. Mark my words on this shit. Hey, but look, bro, I gotta get my daughter over to practice, man. Hey, let's wrap it up. I'm gonna hit you on the phone though after we shut down.
It's all good, man.
Hey, like, you got some last words, bro? Let's shut it down. I'll tap you in a minute.
Let me let y'all know something, man. I'm not here for beef. I don't care what anybody says on any channel. I'm not here for beef.
For that.
I don't know any of these dudes personally. This ain't personal. I don't know them. I don't care for them like that. When we're digging into crates, man, looking for this information, man, when I'm finding the information, I'm just as shocked when I first find it, when I deliver it to y'all. I'm just as shocked when y'all hear it. So we doing it, man, because we know how important it is to know that you have people before you who were great, who did great things that you can build on top of, whose shoulders you can stand on. That's what this is about. Whenever we lacking confidence and esteem, it's good to know that, hey, man, Booker T. Washington did it. You know what I'm saying? Philip Payton did it with the Afro-American Realty Company in Harlem. George Washington Carver did it. Alonzo Herndon did it. You know, great people, man. Maggie Lennon Walker did it, becoming the first Black woman to get a banking charter in the United States. When you know these people of your group did great things, who did these things to make Black people look good. Black people's business class did this work to make Black people get respect from the overall society, especially the dominant oppressive classes. They went out there to prove that black people could do this stuff. So it's only right that we remember what they did and give them their proper respect. You don't do this to people who went before you, who went out there to make you look good for the future. Booker T. Washington knew he wasn't going to live around. He said his plan could take 100 years. He knew he wasn't going to be around long enough to see it go through. That didn't mean he wasn't going to start with the foundation. He started with a foundation, two entities, a school and a business consortium that's over 100 years in existence. That's why we're giving y'all the information, so you can see we are more than capable of doing the things that people think are so insurmountable.
Hey, real quick, Ryle. So look, I'm gonna shake out because Renaissance just pulled up. So here's what I can do. I'll let y'all rock. I'm gonna go take care of the practice, and I can come back. We just continue. Y'all good
Okay,
for
go
that?
ahead.
You good?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Ren.
All right.
Ren,
Hey,
go.
Renaissance man, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, what's
Yeah, no,
good? How you doing, man?
Peace, Ren. Peace, Ren.
no, I didn't know y'all were ending. No, I heard Ryle
No.
breaking up.
We're good. I'm just saying, if you guys are good, just holding it down while I go and take her to practice, I'll be back. You're good
Okay.
for that. Okay. All right. I'm gonna be back. Y'all go ahead and rock, man.
Yeah, no, Ryle, what can you bring? I came in on the last piece. What brought the open chat? If you want to summarize that real quick. Wait, can you hear me?
Wait. Now, Rael was having.
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
Okay, he was asking, dude. He wants to know what this is about, dude. That's all. Just go ahead and give him the backdrop on what this is all about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what he's asking.
Okay, so basically, Ren, this is about kid from black men being brutally honest. Kind of turn it down a little bit, complex.
Adapt to your surroundings, but watch your step.
Complex.
Reptiles, the jungle's hot.
So basically, he made a video talking about basically trying to make it seem like the brain trust is a space where men come to cope. Basically, like we're coming here to cope about the type of conversation that they have in terms of future. So basically, he was against what when we had to stream the stream. I don't know if you remember the one where Mike was going against. He was responding back to AB Media's stream on some politics stuff, and he basically pushed back against it because he thought that it was a stream against BGS, but it wasn't even about BGS. It was actually directed toward AB Media. But because he rocks with BGS, anything that is said is automatically looked upon as being in the vein of, oh, y'all only got something to say because y'all don't like BGS, but that's not the case. It's just that we respond to the stuff that's wrong and we just correct the record. So it's not even about that.
Yeah, no. It's funny because I was talking to another brain trust member on the phone about that same thing, correcting the record. Because here's the thing, man. Like what you were talking about as far as like getting things done, and I was telling them like I really don't even follow their stuff like that. Like the only thing I really got in the response of BGS is when he came on Code Breakers, and we were trying to talk about HBCUs and their problems, and he started talking about the gynocracy and all of that. And I was just like, it's way deeper than that. Like, don't get me wrong. HBCUs got their own problem with dysfunction, as we all know, but the state has screwed them over as well. And that's really all I was trying, because I was like, really with these guys, like if you mess around with these people for too long, like you'll be here 2 or 3 years having the same conversations, complaining about the same problem. And I'm just like, the brain trust is much more focused on the future, what people can be doing in the meantime to really move things forward. And like I said, we don't talk about all the things we talk about offline amongst each other that we have going on. So just trying to say that it's a coping space, it's just like, I don't even know where you get, because most of the stuff on the brain trust is not even a response to the manosphere.
Right.
Most of it is its own subject. It's just when people bring our name up, we're not just going to let you say whatever.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Um, so that's not that's the whole thing. But to your point, it's kind of funny that you were just talking about things getting done because I was having a conversation of just seeing where things are politically, and just seeing like the political landscape and where like the right is and where a lot of our people's minds are. I'm just like, if this thing goes left, a lot of black folks are going to be in a world of trouble.
A world.
Um, I mean, like I said, I know people differ on the political spectrum, but my whole thing is this: I'm not one of these people who thinks you should just, the Democratic Party is a savior by any stretch of the imagination. But I do see what Trump has cooking on the other side is not good for black people collectively. And like I said, and just in general, where things are, even if you take Trump off the table and you just look at where things are going, with technology, seeing the number of black men who just don't have the skills to compete in the 21st century, a lot of us are going to be in a world of hurt if like the level of these political of just the dialogue in general amongst black men does not change.
Well, that was one of the things that I wanted to get across on the Booker T. Washington streams is that one of the things that most black people don't understand about him specifically is he was very adamant against black people being used as a political football. And that's the reason why he navigated between both parties the way he did. He was not for what the North had done post slavery because he didn't look at it as something black people had really put themselves in a position to really be able to utilize at that point in terms of the politics. Yeah, they could run for office and stuff like that, but for him, he was like, we don't even have an economy yet, so this is not really legitimate for us right now. And he knew how the North was trying to use black people politically to needle the South. And he didn't want that to happen because he knew what the repercussions of what that would have been, which is why he was not really for all of the agitation, because people like Du Bois, for example, did not have to live in the South like that. He could always, even though he taught at Atlanta University for a minute, he ultimately could go back up north and go back to Harvard. And so he was trying to really thread a very, because you got to remember, man, we're talking about post-war, post-Civil War America. Like, it's not like the Civil War ended and people were like, okay, well, they won and we lost, and let's just go back to what we. No, they were stewing. They did not like losing. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, we seen what happened. We seen what happened to Lincoln. So they were not really of that mindset of just like, well, let's just go along and just get along. No, the white Southerners were not with that. So what he was trying to do is basically navigate both of those particular parties, and that's why he was willing to work with Democrats and he was willing to work with Republicans when it was politically, and business-wise expedient. So, but for me, I don't care which side it is. Like, I don't believe black people should be reactionary in their politics on either side. I think black people need to know what their interests are. I don't even really believe that when black people approach voting, they don't even really have any interest. It's really more of a popularity contest type thing. It's basically based on who I like. That's not what your politics need to be based on who you like, because that's not business. In business, you might have to do business with people that you can't freaking stand, because that's the game. But you need to get that money to bring back to your side. You know what I'm saying? So for me, my mentality is that I'm with Booker T. Like, I'm not interested in seeing black people being used as a political football either way, because it's not really turned out well for black people. Black people need to have really truly an agenda moving forward as other groups of people do. And it needs to be based on having an economic center of gravity in terms of institutional building. We don't have any center. You're all over the place, and that's why we've had these conversations ad nauseum, man, because there is no center of gravity there. The brain trust was established to bring a center of gravity to this male space. That's what it was established for. To get black men to be on code, to be abreast of what the issues are, because these business and tech issues are affecting politics too. You got a lot of freaking tech people who are supporting certain people in office. This stuff is affecting the politics. So you need to be aware of what's happening in the business and tech world that's going to drive a lot of political decisions in the political world. You're going to have to understand that.
Well, that's the thing, is even getting people to be engaged. I don't know if you follow. I was talking to someone and I was looking on, I think it was Twitter, with the mayor of Dallas that switched parties. He went from a Democrat to Republican, and some people were talking about recalling them, and they were saying, like, if you look at the actual percentage of votes you need to actually, or signatures you need to recall someone based on the number of votes he got, it would have been like 6,000 people, because he won the mayoral race with like 42,000 votes or something, like in a city of like 1.2 million people. Like, and like that's my big issue of, like, with black men and politics in general, is that a good bit of us vote, but there are large swaths of us that just aren't engaged at all. And I'm just like, that's one thing I think you have to give Du Bois, that is that he was very critical of people being just politically apathetic. Like that's not a good thing. Like, it's one thing if you're taking Washington's standpoint of, like, hey, people shouldn't participate. I mean, people shouldn't even agitate for rights. But it's another thing, like, when you have people who have the rights already and people just aren't interested in engaging them. Because you kind of saw the same thing with those two politicians in Memphis. Like, I remember they won their race with like 1,200, 1,300 votes or something in a district of over 100,000 people, 100,000 plus. And like, that's the type of thing, is like, a lot of us don't, I mean, a lot of people are complaining about the black politicians we have. And I'm just like, if you go and look at some of these races and how these people are winning, like, I see why, like, you don't feel like they're not being, militant enough, or, not pushing the envelope. I mean, if you're getting a 10% voter turnout in some of these places, why are they really going to listen to, a bunch of people who are on the internet talking about what they want, this, and that?
Well, I agree that from a political standpoint. I mean, if you don't have anything set up like a pack or something like that, like, look, hey, we got a pack of these brothers over here. Look, we got 100K over here that we're willing to give to y'all. Like, what y'all gonna give us? You know what I'm saying? What's going on? That's different. You know what I'm saying? That's different. But again, when you have people who don't have the information, or who are rejecting the information that's allowing them to evolve with where the economy, the business world, the tech world is going, I don't give a damn if it was Malcolm X running for office. If you ain't trying to get no trade to get the jobs that's going to be available out there when the business class creates jobs, what do you want people? What you want a politician? At that point, it ain't even about a politician. It's about you. You're not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? And they can't. There are trade schools all over the freaking United States. Obama started. Matter of fact, it was Bush first, but Obama was pumping a lot of money into the 2-year schools, to the trade schools.
Yeah, community colleges is free in some of these states. Like Tennessee, I believe it's free. I know off the top of my head they are.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So, but again, if we're over here, if you got Mike or Complex or you or Emily or anybody else who drops some information, hey man, there's a trade right here that you can get 9 months, go to school. Because what a lot of these brothers don't understand is that many of these trades have attached to them paid training. So let's say you get in a program and you go on a Tesla for your training. Man, you're getting paid. You're having these private-public partnerships where companies are partnering with the government, giving you a stipend to live off of while you're in your training program. So your basic necessities can be met. So you don't even have to worry about that. You could just focus on training. Dude's not taking advantage of it.
Yep, they're doing that with CDLs too.
Yeah. I mean, but we're over here giving the information like, yo, this stuff is available. They're saying y'all are coping space. Dude, we're giving the information over here on what's available so dudes can get in the game. So we can, when we talk about building the economy, we know it's not just at the top. You're going to have the people with skills that to build the grid and all of these type of things. So, but if you don't want to do it, I mean, what do you want a politician to do for you? A politician can't do anything for you like that. Like you got to take that ownership yourself. And if you're not willing to do that, then hey, it is what it is.
Well, I was gonna say it's really you need both in the sense of like because here's the thing like Charles Blow has a book called The Devil You Know, and he basically advocates for he basically advocates for Black people basically almost the reverse migration of basically instead of trying to, and this is one of the things, and this is why I'm really critical of like sort of the thinking that goes on, the lack of strategy, is that once again, if you can actually get an agenda in place and get around what people actually want, if you start strategically moving to some of these states where you could actually implement some of this stuff, you would not only gain more power politically, and this is what basically Blow is saying, that you would not only gain more power politically, nationally, like you could actually get what you want done. And he uses the example of Vermont and basically how a bunch of liberals left New York in, I believe, like the 70s, and basically said, hey, we're going to basically turn this state to one of the most progressive states in the union because that's our ideology. And that's how you end up with a Bernie Sanders as senator. That's how you end up with the policies they have. Mm-hmm. And I'm just sitting here like, when you look at Black political power at a state level, because a lot of times we just talk about the federal, we're so dispersed out in all these states where, you know, the state where you have the most probably representation and power is Mississippi, but you're at a point where you're I think around like maybe 40% of the population. So you don't have enough to really control the state. And then, you know, and because of the such large numbers, you just have so much white pushback to what's going on to like, hey, all it would really take is like control of one or two states. And it would be like, hey, if this is the agenda I have, you know, this is what people need to get behind. And then also you're talking about federal money you have access to now go implement your programs versus, you know, you being in the localities and always trying to fight with the states on policies that they don't agree with.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I've actually talked about how, because MOT was the one that got me to looking at it a few years ago, about looking at cities and setting up your own cities and stuff like that. Because he was talking about a lot of these towns have gone bankrupt, but they have grids, you know, built out. And so there are grants and stuff like that that you can get through the federal government that can actually help you in terms of you know, basically building the city out and stuff like that.
But people got to have the skills once again to, hey, if we go get the grant, you got to have brothers that have the skills to do the electrical, to do the plumbing, so we don't end up looking like Jackson out here.
Right, exactly. And see, that's the issue. I mean, I've been on panels before where you talk about trying to build a city and you get kicked off the panel. So, and then the conversation is, oh, but politics, they're not doing anything for Black men. Like, you're not doing anything for yourself. Like, what don't y'all get? Like, at a certain point, if the money is allocated, okay, if the money is allocated, the funding is going to trade schools where a lot of companies are partnering up where you can actually even have paid training. If the politician has got the money for your district, for your state, for your locale, and the money is there for you, and you don't utilize it, what else are you looking for from the politician at that point? Like, what else can they do for you? I mean, what else are you looking for? And to me, a lot of it is just, a lot of these dudes just don't want to put that work in, man. they don't want to put that work in, man, because for a myriad of reasons. But at the end of the day, like, you can't shift it to Keisha. Keisha ain't got nothing to do with the fact that you don't want to go to trade school and become an electrician. She ain't got
Yeah,
nothing to do with it.
yeah. I was gonna say, if you want to keep on a book, you should check out that I've actually read. Really good book. It came out, I think I think it's actually this year. Is called Soul City, Race, Equality, and the Lost Dream of American Utopia by Thomas Healy. He basically goes and documents. So it was in Warren County, North Carolina, back in, I believe, the 70s. So Floyd McKissick, I believe his name is Harvey Gantt, who was an MIT trained architect. They basically got together and attempted to build like basically a black town out in North Carolina. They unfortunately weren't successful for a myriad of reasons, but they came pretty close. And the ironic thing is the money that they used and the programs that they used were the same programs that built places like the Woodlands in Texas, places like Columbia up here in Maryland. So successful models. And truth be told, the ironic thing is the reason they did a post-mortem and the reason they failed was not because of like mismanagement or the other things you normally think of black people. It was really just because of like bureaucracy. And I really think, and definitely an element of racism by people who didn't want to see it succeed as well. But, I read the book. It's a great book just on the ideas that are out there. And I point out to people that, even if these things failed once, there are multiple things. I mean, if you look at this whole Roe v. Wade thing, you basically had the evangelicals who waited, roughly 50 years or more to get this thing repealed, because that was their issue. That, to your point of 100 years in Booker T. Washington, that's what's missing with a lot of people is, they think you can just do this in one cycle.
Hell no.
They think that, hey, me going out here and voting once every 4 years is going to solve everything.
Nope.
And I'm just like, heck no, that's the bare minimum. When you look at the trade-off of putting in effort for something and what you get in return, you can't seriously think that just going and standing in line to vote every 4 years is going to like solve everything around you. And that's the mentality a lot of these people have.
And I mean, that was even highlighted in the Black Business Council meeting, the Booker T we covered last month. And
yeah, it's an ongoing process.
But I'm saying that was 120. That was the 123rd conference, right? Yeah. And I'm saying that's yearly. You're talking about like you're like, dude, like if you think that things happen just voting every 4 years, I mean, listen, like they're meeting yearly, right, to make things happen. And then like when you break it down even more, you got people who meet quarterly, people who meet monthly, bi-weekly, weekly.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
And those are just annual meetings. That's not right. That's not even the business that they're doing together with each other too.
Exactly.
That's more networking more than anything.
Yes.
Yeah, that's networking. It's after the networking where the real shit gets done.
But what you were saying, Renaissance, is like, dude, you're talking about one vote every 4 years.
Right.
What the hell you've been doing in between time?
Exactly. That's my boy. That's my boy.
What the hell you doing in between time?
No. I was gonna say, Complex. I did an internship when I was in college, with the state government. And one of the things that they had me, go and do was basically take notes in some of these hearings. And the number of businesses that would always come through, it was
I did the same thing, Ren. I did the same shit.
Yeah. The number of businesses, like if there was a proposed bill in committee or something like that, the number of businesses that would come. I remember one that stuck out. They wanted to change, like if you had a storage room or something like that. They wanted to change the number of, like, if someone was behind or something, they wanted to change the amount of time it took before, these things went into co-assignment, or they could start, selling the stuff off. And, how many people who own storage companies like showed up to these hearings. And I'm like, that's crazy, because I was like, 99% of the public is not even going to know that this is going on. Yet still, here's the business owner, because they know, hey, if they change this from, say, 60 days to 90 days, you know, that's how much longer I'm going to have, potential storage rooms that are I'm not getting paid for, but I don't have any legal recourse to get rid of,
Right.
because they understood that affected their business. And I'm just like, you have so many people who just don't really get it in that regard. So, hey,
Well,
if
I
you're
mean,
gonna lose
well,
business, the
Renaissance man,
politics is gonna affect it.
do you think that the reason why they don't get it is because I typically find that there you have to have some sort of professional experience, right? Because see, like no matter what industries you work in, right, what kind of jobs you hold, at a certain point, there's going to be some overlaps in position, right? So let's say you worked at this company and you did this one job, and then you applied for a job over here, and it's a completely different industry, right? But they hired you based on your qualifications from your previous job, for example, right? That would suggest that there's overlap because whatever skills you had over there will apply over here, correct?
Yep.
Right. So I guess what my issue is that there's like this lack of understanding that there's like, when you have the okay, well, like in social judge they call it intersectionality, but what we were talking about in the professional venue, there's intersectionality, and in those intersectionality points, you have employment depth. That's what enables you to actually, if the job is right, and let's just say you don't have all the qualifications, but you have other type of qualifications, there's this overlap, which actually puts you into that venue to go into, let's say, like upper management or let's just say higher professions, right? And those are things that typically are not understood. I don't know if that's because a lot of us have never had like HR experience per se. Like, so for me, I had to recruit. And, in certain markets, it would be hard to find certain types of people because of the company's requirements for hiring people, right? But let's just say, for example, though, there was a whole bunch of ex-Marine people, ex-Navy people that worked on like submarines and shit, tore down the boilers and did all that. I'd be like, well, why the fuck didn't these people do this job? So it took me to go to management and be like, listen, you guys
Kind of
don't
loud. It's kind of
have.
loud, bro.
Wait, say that again, bro.
Kind of loud.
Is it the music?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. I'm gonna cut it here because we're gonna have to cut it short in just a second. Um, but there's oftentimes this overlap in the professional arena that we're not privy to or we're not aware of.
Mhm.
And oftentimes, like people leverage that, they use that, and whereas we think that everything is very singular, I'm trying to figure out the word to call it.
No, I know what you mean in the sense of like, you have part of it is I think people have been, so many of us have been in like low level jobs for so long,
Hmm.
where like you only see like if you're a cashier in a grocery store, or you only see like your register, and like that's really your viewpoint is like, okay, I got people in line, I got to ring them up and this and that, and that's your purview of the world, and then you go home. But if you're a manager, you then understand, okay, I
Yeah,
have all these cashiers that I
there
have to
you go.
I have all these cashiers that I have to have scheduled. I have to figure out, when's the peak time, so I have enough aisles open. I have to make sure everything gets restocked.
Hmm.
I have to make sure, things get ordered, and I got to be aware of budget, making sure, I'm staying within, allocated budget, all of
Hmm.
these things.
Operations.
Yeah.
Operations.
Management.
Yeah.
And I think so many of us are just so like, some of us are just satisfied in just that entry level role, that if you don't get that next level purview of what the world looks like, it limits you in other spaces. Because
There you go.
to your point, Complex, like if you get in the grocery store management and then you decide, hey, I'm you go into school, or you decide, hey, I'm gonna go get my trade and become an electrician, or I was doing that in the meantime while I was getting my skills to go become an electrician.
Hmm.
At some point you'll be able to say, okay, I got my skills built up, and you'll be able to say, hey, I want to start my own company. So I can leverage that experience of, okay, I know that I'm going to have to hire electricians. I know I'm going to have to price it enough that I can actually pay these people. I know that I'm going to need to find jobs. I know I'm going to need to advertise. Like, you sort of you can carry that thinking over. But if you you're just sitting at the register the whole time, you're gonna miss all that experience.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big problem.
And that was
But
that was
and I think also too, in you saying that, Ren, when you saying that people are so used to having low level jobs, I think also too is that people are so used of having such a lack of information, and they're so used to being in those low level positions. I think it's almost to the point where people look at the new information very suspiciously. Like I think to a point, I think there are some people who actually will push back because now they have no more excuses too. They can't they
yes.
can't they
Yeah.
can't say that the sky is falling, the white man try to hold me back and all that. It's like, well, wait a minute. These are some programs that's been implemented. They cut the check, and yeah, all you got to do is just fill it out, and you can get access. One of the things that I've been saying for a long time is that there are a lot of people working jobs out here who do not take advantage of training programs that their companies offer. There are plenty companies out here who will pay for you to get different training. If you see a specific position in a company that you're interested in and you don't have a skill set, you can go to these companies that offer these types of training, and you can get them to allow you to train, especially if it's going to be beneficial for the company to train in that, especially if they have a need for that. There's a lot of people who are just comfortable 8 to 5, 9 to 5, get my check every 2 weeks, and as long as I can pay my cell phone bill, I'm good. There are some people who are just cool with living paycheck to paycheck. That's a mindset. And if there are a lot of people out there who have that mentality, then it doesn't matter how much information we give about the different opportunities out here. If they're settled in that kind of mindset, man, they'll never use the information. They'll never use it.
Nope. Because it's not really in their purview to do it, right?
No.
Because they're oriented on um, trying to, I guess, correct things as opposed to pursue opportunities, right? There's just like you can kind of pick and choose your struggle in life, so to speak.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So it's really just about how we're all oriented. Now let's do this, dude. I need to go grab some dinner here before I go pick my shorty here, up here in about 30 minutes. Um, let's
Oh,
get
good.
this. Yeah, I was gonna say, let's get. What I wanted Ren to kind of put in on the conversation here because he did come up, so I wanted to kind of stretch it out and get his input in on some things. I do need to shut it out though because I need to run to the grocery store, get some stuff together before I got to get her from practice.
All right, bro.
Let's get some last thoughts in here.
Go ahead, man.
No, I'm good. Like I said, my whole thing is just, hey, people gotta take advantage of what's out there. They gotta learn to be strategic and having an idea of what they want / need, and then they gotta actually go and implement it. Because it's like I said, the environment we're living in, the turmoil that's in the world. Like I said, a lot of people, if some of these conversations don't change, a lot of people are going to be in a world of hurt. So I just always appreciate conversations that are trying to highlight like what's out there, what we need to go and do, and what we can do like from a strategic standpoint to actually go get things done versus frankly just nonsense. So that's all I got.
Hey Ren, real quick, listen to the beginning of this and then let's talk tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I got to go to the office for a meeting, but I could talk to you in the afternoon when I get
Yeah, I'm
back.
saying just listen to it and then like just text me.
Yeah, I can text you tomorrow.
Okay, all right, cool deal. All right, Raul, you got what you got on it, Cuzzo?
Yeah, just echoing some of the things Ring was just saying. You know, I don't think a lot of black men in this space realize how hard we're going for black men.
Shit.
And so the way that the world is opening it up, you got this this brick situation. So you're seeing the realignment in the world that is really looking to be very advantageous for us. We have access to skill sets that we can utilize. And if you put the skill sets that you can learn here in developing countries, you could make so much money. And yeah, you might have to learn a different language. You have to get out your comfort zone, but there's nothing comfortable about being about masculinity. There's nothing comfortable about manhood. Like it's something I say all the time in
Shit.
business. Like you have to be uncomfortable to get comfortable. If you want
Comfortable.
comfort, you got to
Exactly.
be uncomfortable first. And
And
so,
you gotta create that shit. That's basically what you're saying. You gotta create
right.
it.
So
Yep.
the way that these Mike, because Mike was able to enlighten me on this about how he was talking about what kind of skill sets that they were looking for on the continent, and he was talking about a lot of different trades that they're looking for because they need development. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the people who have the skill sets to develop at the rate in which they need. So, and development is very critical in these places, man, because development will allow their brain power to stay and build the infrastructure up in their own place. So we can be very instrumental in helping get that type of stuff done if these dudes will get on code and stop getting so mad that somebody knows something that you don't. Just learn. Like that's all it is, man. Like,
Yeah, I was about to say, man, as long as we ain't got niggas salting us out, man, because,
yeah, because I ain't about that. You know
bruh,
what I'm saying? Like I learned from other people. Like I mean, I don't know all the stuff about life insurance. I mean, that's what Alonzo for. That I could, hey, get on the phone. Yo, what's up,
bro,
man?
bro,
What's
I don't
about
be
this?
knowing shit about nonprofits, dog.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
You be telling me about it.
So we all, no one man can know everything. That's the reason why you have a brotherhood. So where you're short, where you're lacking, your brother is picking up that slack for you, and you don't have that deficit. So, that's what this space is about. This space is about picking up that slack for black men who have that deficit in the knowledge arena as it relates to this stuff. So, how can that be a bad thing for y'all? That is a great thing for you because you have a place that you can go to of men that can point you in the right direction to get you where you need to go. That's initiation, man.
That's it right there,
That's
man.
that's that's what it's all about. So that's what we here for, man. I ain't here to beef, man. A lot of the research I've been doing, looking up people like Booker T. Washington and other people, their mentality, man, was black people first, institutions for black people. I'm of that mindset. Like, if it's not about institution building, as far as I'm concerned, then what is it really about? Because that's what really is the foundation of your nations is your institutions. And if we are a nation within a nation, then obviously we would need institutions that best represent us, like other groups of people do. So anybody that's not for institution building in any group, as far as I'm concerned, they're really the sellouts, not the people that's giving you the
Yeah,
information.
it's not. Yeah, it's the other way around, man.
Yep.
Yep. All right, well, look, man, I said what I had to say, bro. So if homie wants to clap back, I don't know what he gonna clap back on, but at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and drop it, and we gonna keep it pushing, bro, because we got some shit we gotta put out here.
Oh yeah, for
You
sure.
know what I'm saying? So let it be. We gonna let sleeping dogs lie with this one, dog. Like as far as I'm concerned, we didn't drop this nigga in the casket and put him 6 feet down in the ground. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and shut it down. Like, share. You know what I mean? If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. And we're gonna go back to our regularly scheduled content, but sometimes we got to do this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So with that, y'all have a good evening, man. We'll get at y'all. Peace.